Welcome back to Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. In this video we are going through 9 big mistakes you are probably still making, and I know that some people are not going to see these as mistakes, so it's also a tips and tricks video. And starting this one off, I don't think many players are going to know this because the game doesn't actually tell you. If you press start and you pull up like your inventory, your gear and everything like that, I don't know the buttons for PC, but on a controller, if you then press back or select, you can actually fully pause the game. Then number 2 is going to help a lot of people that are not interested in PvP. If you go to the online settings on the game, you can actually turn off the PvP invasions. Then at number 3, you get a blacksmith in the game that lets you upgrade your gear, sell gear and things like that. And as far as I am aware, you are not able to unlock the blacksmith unless you interact with her when you find her right after the Zhu boss fight, so the second boss fight in the game. But you don't just talk to her once, you interact with her twice, and once you've exhausted the dialogue, she'll give you the option to access her inventory. You can buy stuff, sell stuff, and upgrade it. And then tip number 4 ties in with number 3. But I'm going to say upgrading your gear is entirely pointless unless you absolutely love a certain weapon. Not only because loot is abundant in this game, you get lots and lots of loot handed to you, but also your very first playthrough, you are limited to 4-star gear. When you go through to New Game Plus and you start your second playthrough, you will unlock 5-star gear. So it's better to just save the materials and upgrade on your second playthrough. Then for tip number 5, we have not deflecting enough. This is a humongous mechanic in the game. It's going to be so helpful. Literally the difference between life and death a lot of times throughout your playthrough. In order to deflect, you press B on an Xbox controller or circle on a PlayStation controller whilst using a side movement at the same time. So B and left or B and right. And that is going to deflect. You have to time it. You need to learn, you need to basically master the timing. But once you've got that down, you can deflect attacks. You're going to be able to squeeze in a couple of attacks here and there against different enemies. The second boss, Zhu is going to be a little bit tougher when it comes to deflecting. You need to be way more defensive. There's a separate video on the channel for the boss fights. But any enemy in the game, as soon as they come to attack you, make sure you are deflecting because it's going to, as I said, be the difference between life and death. It's such an important mechanic in the game. Now, tip number 6 is not being patient during boss fights and thinking that attack is always better than defense. I've seen lots and lots of comments, players getting frustrated, players quitting the game and everything. And this game is fantastic if you just have that little bit of patience. And I don't say that as if to say, oh, you're an impatient person or anything like that. I say that because with the first boss, Zhang Liang, it's all about just deflecting and then you're getting attacks in straight after. When it comes to Zhu, you are deflecting and deflecting and deflecting, and then when it's the right time, you are attacking. This game's not just about spamming attacks and getting lucky or anything like that. You need to be strategic in how you approach boss fights. And there are other tips coming up. Actually, the next one is going to help you have a much better time in boss fights too. So please do not take any offense to that or anything like that. It's just I believe one of the biggest tips I can give for any player that's going to play this game is make sure you are patient. It's not a game you're going to be able to just run your way through. It's going to take time. It's going to take, you're going to die lots and lots in this game. Even the small enemies that you find, they are going to ruin you at points in the game as well. Tip number 7 or mistake number 7 is not understanding your morale rank. If you look above your health bar at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see a number. And this is so important in boss fights. And if you think about Zhang Liang, the very first boss fight in the game, his morale rank is either 9 or 10. I fought him at 9. And I've seen videos and stuff on YouTube of him having a 10 morale rank. But if you get yours higher than the boss before entering the boss fight, by fighting the enemies and stuff that you came across on your way to the boss fight, you are going to increase your morale rank, which is going to allow you to deal more damage to the boss, and at the same time, you're going to take less damage from the boss. So it's really important. Farm the enemies, get your morale rank built up, find all of the marking flags. There are 2 different types of flags in the game. You've got the battle flags, which are essentially your grace points in Elden Ring, your bonfires in Dark Souls. And then you've got marking flags, which increase your fortitude rank. So if you go there and your morale rank is 8, you interact with a marking flag, That's going to make your minimum morale rank level 8. So if you die over and over again, you can't drop below 8. Make sure you're paying attention to the enemies, their attacks and everything like that. Build up your morale, then jump into boss fights. Because as I said, you deal more damage, you take less damage. Really, really helpful. Then we have number 8, the penultimate tip or mistake, whichever way you want to look at it. And that is not exploring in this game. Exploration in Wo Long Fallen Dynasty is so important. A single area down the side of a building could be the difference between you taking out a boss and not even coming close in that boss fight for a very, very long time, because weapons, armor, and more can be scattered around the place. Make sure you are exploring when you are playing this game. Don't just try and rush through the areas, get into the boss fights and everything like that. You're just going to have a bad time. As mentioned in a previous tip, I strongly recommend players are patient, you take your time, you master timing and everything like that, and you're going to breeze through this game. And then last but definitely not least, mistake or tip number 9, that is not using your companions. Wo Long Fallen Dynasty offers players companions and they come with an oath. That oath is basically their level. It gets leveled up the more you use them. There are like consumables you can apply to level them up faster. But make sure you are using the companions, especially if you like their gear, because once their oath reaches level 10, which is the max level, you are going to get their gear for yourself. That includes their armor set, which comes with set bonuses and stuff, and that also includes their unique weapon. So that was 9 tips or mistakes for Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, and I'm going to say you can look at it both ways, so they are mistakes you're probably still making in the game. And I just want to quickly point out, these are not to basically down talk anyone that's trying to play the game or anything like that. This video is made entirely to try and help you guys out, to give you a better understanding of the features in the game and to help you make progress, because this game is really tough and there can be a lot of stress, especially from the boss fights. The first boss is a 2-phase boss and is not an easy time. But that is going to do it for the video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about the game in the comments, and check out this video if you want to see other content on the channel. I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.